Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News. I have the pleasure to be joined by Masood Abdulah. Masood, how are you today, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I want to jump straight into it because I think you're in a potential fight of the night, fight of the year contender on Friday night against Marc Leach. October the 6th, York Hall. I mean, start about it. How did this fight come about?
Uh, we were supposed to fight for the English title with a bunch of different opponents, but they all unfortunately either turned the fight down or couldn't make it for whatever reason. But yeah, so and then I had an original opponent for the 16th of August, I think. And unfortunately, that guy took a last minute fight on the Oscar De La Hoya show and got knocked out. Very lively opponent, very good, very fast. But yeah, so when that fight got cancelled, I came back and then yeah, they offered this to me.
Nice. I mean, before we get on to Marc Leach in a minute, is it frustrating, obviously, when you want to fight, but and obviously fight for the English title as well, but so many opponents pull out? Is that rather frustrating for you?
It's frustrating. I mean, I've been in camp for such a long time, so it's just you don't know when to switch off. You don't know exactly what you're doing, but I've been quite fortunate because I stay in the gym consistent. I train all year round, so for me, it's just the only thing that's super daunting is the fact that I was supposed to have a fight and then I don't. So like I'm training really hard and then I have to ease off. Then I'm training really hard, I have to ease off. That's the only super frustrating thing about it. But aside from that, I'm constantly improving. Love being in the gym. So yeah.
I mean that you are. I mean, you're getting a lot of praise online, especially a lot of praise for taking this fight against Marc Leach. I mean, before we start, I know you've done a bit of sparring with him in the past, but what do you know about Marc Leach and why was it the right time to take this fight for yourself?
So I'm actually a fan of his. I think he's a great mover. His fight with Chris Bork and is it Cash Ashfaq?
Hmm.
Amazing fights, amazing two fights. It's just at some point you got to step up. You got to take chances. You got to take risks. And I want every fight now to be kind of like a risky fight. I want every fight to be an opportunity to progress, to grow. I don't want to be one of those fights who've had like 10, 15 amateurs, 10, 15 like journeyman fights, like just throwaway fights, and then all of a sudden I get tested and just can't seem to swim.
Definitely. I mean, there's credit to you for having that kind of mindset going into these fights. But what when all's said and done, what do you think will give you the edge over Marc Leach? Obviously, you said you rate him yourself, but what do you think will give you the edge?
I think my focus, my determination to win, the fact that I'm in the gym consistent, live a very healthy lifestyle, and I'm very disciplined to the sport. So I think that's what will give me the edge. Plus, like I like the guy. I think he's fast. I think he's tremendously talented. But I don't know. There's something about it that's just I believe in myself, and I think I can, I think I can push this and possibly come out with a really good victory. Hoping for a stoppage, but I'll never look for it. If it's there, I'll take it.
Definitely. I mean, it is a cracker, and make sure you get down to York Hall on Friday night for Abdullah Leach. It's a great fight. I mean, the WBC. I think it's an international titles on the line as well. Obviously, with that, you mentioned there you want to progress really quickly, but kind of you get a world ranking with that belt, mate. Kind of what route do you want to go down? Is it kind of that international route where you kind of climb the world rankings kind of little by little, or is it kind of obviously Leach is a former British champion? Do you go down the domestic route? Obviously, you mentioned the pullouts for the English title, but what kind of title route do you want to go down?
It just depends whatever's available. So I've had such a hard time trying to get fights with people of this country. I mean, we've pulled out a lot of people. We've offered a lot of people an opportunity to fight. And one or two people accepted the fight, and then when it came closer to it, they went, "No, you know what? It's too much of a risk." I'm ready for anything that comes my way. Initially, not that I'm looking past Mark Leach, but I'd like to see what Nathaniel Collins say next because he's got the British and the Commonwealth. It only makes sense if I've got the Commonwealth silver, I can go for that next. If not, Queensberry have a lot of people in their stable. Hopefully, they start pairing us up and trying to match us up with each other. If not that, then I'll take the international route. I'm quite blessed to have like a promoter behind my back, and hopefully after this fight, believes in my ability and everything like that.
Definitely, and I mean, with Nathaniel Collins being under the Queensberry stable now, obviously, I think a fight with him becomes even more likely as well, and I think that's a great fight. I do want to touch on. I was doing a bit of research, obviously, into yourself ahead of this interview, and I mean, going through your Instagram, you've sparred some huge names, some prospects like Kurt Walker and Dennis McCann, but then also some kind of world level operators like Anthony Cacace. And then the main one, the one I want to ask you about is Brandon Figueroa. Whilst he doesn't have a world title at featherweight, he is widely regarded as the number one in that division. I mean, what was it like sparring him?
Really good learning experience. So when I go to sparring, I don't care too much about trying to best someone. I'm just there to improve. So when I went out there with him, he kind of long range. He kind of didn't try too much, but as the rounds went on, he's really put the pace on. Like the guy's super powerful. He's just super heavy-handed. It was a really good spot. Like I learned a lot from it as well. And the climate they train at is intense. So, hopefully if I'm in a better financial situation, I'd like to go out to Vegas and train with them all the time and spar with them consistent. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. I mean, hopefully that comes sooner rather than later for you, Masood, as well. You have obviously touched on this. Obviously, you are signed to Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions. I mean, on the rise as well. And I think the shows that they've just announced, especially for the back end of the year, is phenomenal to say the least. But what is it like to be signed by Frank Warren and Queensberry?
I mean, it's all right. It's just hard for me to really compare because I've been with them for nearly 3 years and nobody else, so I don't know who to compare them to. I think they've done a good job with me, although I would like to be pushed a little bit more, but who doesn't? No, they've been good. They've been good. It sucks that my last fight was in January and I haven't had the fight since then, but they can't take the blame for it just because people have been pulling out. It's frustrating, but can't say too much.
Definitely. I mean, if there's one positive to take out of people pulling out against you, it shows how much of a difficult fight you are for them as well, Masood. I do thank you for giving me your time today, mate. My final question: we ask everyone on the channel this. What does boxing mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. For me, it's a lifestyle. So I love to be. Sorry about this. My coach is behind me doing
It's
some
okay.
dumb, dumb things. But for me, it's the lifestyle. I just love to train, and it gives me an outlet. It gives me like a possibility to earn a living and help uproot my family. So it's everything to me.
Perfect, mate. Well, Masood, thank you very much again for giving me your time today, and best of luck on Friday night.
Okay, thank you so much, mate.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you very much.